It's still like your socks saying 2 pairs, 3 pairs of those. Mm-hmm.
And blue.
Did you get a white pair?
Yeah.
I could wear that one myself. Don't do that, Larry. Don't do something different.
We'll figure out there's a.
One more call-in user ending in 92. Would you identify yourself, please? What was that one?
I think Aaron was Aaron. All right, being 7 o'clock, I will call the Marathon County Board of Supervisors to order, please. We will start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Please remain standing. Following the Pledge of Allegiance will be a silent moment of reflection. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We will have the reading of the notice, please.
An educational meeting of the Marathon County Board of Supervisors will be held at the Marathon County Courthouse Assembly Room, 500 Forest Street, Wausau, at 7 p.m. on July 14th, and the agenda was duly signed and posted.
And thank you. I would like to request everyone please silence their cell phones or put them on vibrate and any other electronic devices as to not to be an interruption to the meeting. And we will move on then to item number 5, and that is roll call. And I would ask the supervisors that are present, please sign in to the electronic recognition machine. And thank you, everyone. I would like to welcome all of the visitors that we have here with us this evening. And also I'd like to extend an appreciation and a welcome to the visiting audience that we have that is viewing the meeting tonight. And so we will move on to item number 7, and that is public comment. We do have 8 people that have signed up for public comment. I am going to then therefore extend the public comment a little bit to allow for each individual that is speaking to address the board for up to 3 minutes. I also am going to try to and have implemented Robert's Rules of Order, which basically identify when you have individuals that address the board, if you have multiple people speaking on the same subject, that there will be alternating. One that may be in favor and one against. Robert's rule says that you are to alternate, and therefore I'm going to do that and try, and that may mean that some people have signed up at a different time, and it is not my preference to show any preference. It's just providing that individuals will be alternated, one for, one against. And so the order in which we'll have public comment tonight, first we'll have Representative, we're proud to have Representative Pat Schneider with us. We have also, we have next, second will be Tanya Reilly. Third will be Patrick Schmidt. Fourth will be Joanne Leonard. Fifth will be Matthew Barnes. Sixth will be Aaron Crawford. Seventh will be Clint Resch. And eighth will be Shanti Tarpey. I apologize if I mispronounced that name. So first, I would extend to Pat. We'll also have a timer, and I will also call out roughly 15 seconds prior to the end. That time is about to expire. So, Representative Schneider, please.
Good evening, everyone. I am Representative Pat Schneider, 129 Charles Schofield in Marathon County. I am currently the chairman of the Children's and Families Committee, have been for the last 2 sessions, was on the committee my first session. I was the chair of a foster care task force back in 2017. I also was on the adoption task force the following session. This is an area that is very near and dear to my heart. Back last session, the Trump administration came out with their Family First agenda, and that is trying to keep, their whole hope is trying to keep families together. And the trauma that these kids go through when they're removed from the home is something that, unless you've seen it and experienced it, it's tough to be removed from their parents. Now, not to say that there aren't some bad parents, and that's working on trying to get things where we can get these kids into a loving environment. This Family First is new. We had to allocate a little money last session in order to be able, we were one of the last states to get on this nationwide, but it is going to provide money to be able to help these families that are struggling to get back on their feet and move forward. This is something that will be helpful. This will be something that will actually save money down the road because of taking these children out, putting them in foster care. And let me tell you, if for the families that aren't getting reunited, for the parents that don't follow what the court ordered and get themselves back together, these kids are in foster care. And if they age out of foster care, more than likely they'll be homeless, or worse yet, they'll be incarcerated. So for the folks that like to crunch the beans, that means that we're paying a lot more for them rather than investing early and trying to get these kids in a stable situation. Now, this is a one-time grant. We're one of 3 counties in the state, 72 counties, and we're one of the 3 counties because of the housing shortage. And this is a way to be able to get these families together, start to heal, and then hopefully get on their feet and be able to move forward. If they have an addiction problem, they relapse, the kids will then be removed again and we'll move forward to try to get them in a safe environment. When I open up my committee every session, I tell all of my committee members that the main theme of Children's and Families, the best interest of the child. So this is federal money that'll be coming out. I plan to have an informational hearing this winter from the National Committee on state legislatures to tell us exactly what the Family First program will mean down the future, because I'm confident there'll be more federal money coming in that direction. So I hope that you will approve this. Thank you.
Thank you. And I was remiss in providing some original direction. First off, any public comments, we will have decorum. I will not allow any personal attacks. And also, if your comments have been presented by other individuals, by all means, you can acknowledge that you are in agreement with the other comments. Please try not to reiterate and repeat the comments. So next we have Tanya Reilly. Tanya, please.
My name is Tanya Reilly, 223828 Orchid Lane, Wausau, Wisconsin, 54401. Tonight you will discuss the Family Keys project. I ask you to pause and think critically about this new demonstration project, which is a pilot program that will use children in a grant-funded experiment. It's meant to show what could work and what might not work. Fine and dandy, but who keeps these children from becoming victims of exploitation as we are learning and discovering the parts of the program that might not work? First, ask yourself some questions that need to be asked with every funding proposal that comes across your desks. Number one, follow the money. Where exactly is this funding coming from? What are all the organizations involved, and what are their motives and core values? Number two, are there any hidden agendas at a state or national level beyond local knowledge and influence? Number three, who monitors the program to make sure it is running as intended? The Family Keys project is especially concerning to me as children are involved in the experiment. Again, who keeps these children safe while the agencies involved are figuring out what works and what doesn't work with this demonstration program? Number four, will this put more control into the hands of local elected officials or into the hands of unelected bureaucrats? According to a director of social services at the 616 County Board meeting, the Casey Family Foundation is a funder of this project and very heavily involved. She was thrilled that they are at the table with us on this project. So what is behind the Casey Family programs? A quick online investigation at casey.org under Who We Are states, and I quote, "Our core values shape the way we work by guiding organizational decisions and actions." And their heading: diversity, equity, anti-racism, and anti-discrimination. Equity, equality, and inclusion. We believe in the intrinsic dignity and value of every person. We strive for fairness and justice in the way people, our staff, and our communities are treated and the opportunities they have to succeed by addressing racism, inequitable treatment, and other barriers to inclusion, end quote. So, is anybody else having flashbacks here? Does this sound familiar? It sounds exactly like the language of the woke, liberal, diversity, inclusion, and equity agenda of the Community for All proposal that created so much division in our county last year. Given their core values, what are the true motives of the Casey Family programs in regard to the Family Keys project? Please do your research. Figure out exactly what you're voting for before you decide to become complicit in this experimental program involving children. Always remember to follow the money and understand what agendas you are complicit in advancing. Thank you.
Thank you. Next we have Patrick Schmidt. Patrick, please.
Hi, my name is Patrick Schmidt, 1710 Silver Lane, Wausau, Wisconsin, 54403. Couple things I would like to just share about myself before I share why I'm up here. One, I'm a licensed foster parent and have been for about 7 years now. I'm also the chair of the Citizen Review Panel. I'm a lifelong registered Republican, and I'm also a financial supporter of the Hagar House, which I believe many people in this room are aware of the Hagar House. And it would be my preference that we would meet our low-income housing needs all through private organizations, all privately funded. I would prefer that we meet all of these social issues that we have without having the government's involvement. But that isn't always the case. And right now we have a real practical problem that I've been living for the last 7 years as a foster parent who's had these kids in my care and lived this experience with biological families that aren't able to keep them, and sometimes, not always, are able to get them back, would be great parents, but don't have a place to house these kids. And so that's why I'm involved and was apprised of this opportunity. I spoke with the Hagar House today to find out what the capacity is there right now and what the interest level of it is. So what is the supply that they have, and what is the supply that the community has, and what is the demand, meaning what is the number of people that are in a situation where they need low-income housing to have a safe place for their kids. I learned today that they have at least 20 people that are interested in applying to live at the Hagar House, and that is way beyond the Hagar House's capacity. And I knew about this just as a foster parent and being in many situations where I was trying to help parents find an inexpensive place to live where they could safely raise their family. They'd met all the requirements to have their kids with them. They just couldn't find a safe place. And in the meantime, in some scenarios, while they couldn't find a safe place, they had to live in unsafe places, which oftentimes would lead them back down to an addiction path because they couldn't get away from the people, the unsafe people, because they couldn't afford another place to stay. So I think this is a great opportunity. Like I said, I would prefer not to use government dollars to do this, but we don't have enough infrastructure in place through privately funded organizations or individuals. So I think this is a prudent opportunity to use some government money to bridge a gap for a couple of years to provide a place for women or men or families to live and to safely raise children, to have accountability, and to give us 2 years to figure out how we can mobilize our local organizations and individuals to provide a long-term, more sustainable pathway for people who need low-income housing here locally. So I think this is a great opportunity. It gives us time to take advantage of an opportunity, a prudent opportunity to use some government funding to provide local resources for these people. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have with us Joanne Leonard. Joanne, please.
Good evening. Thank you for the opportunity to speak to this subject. I'm Joanne Leonard, 923 Maple Hill Road, Wausau, Wisconsin. I guess I better take these off the top of my head. I'm here to address the budget to accept grant funds for the Family Keys pilot project. First of all, I'm totally in favor of helping people and families be safe, secure, and in a loving unit. I understand the reason the Department of Social Services would apply for this experimental grant. These are dollars from the state and feds and will not have to be taken out of local tax levy. Marathon County received $26.3 million in ARPA funds. I've seen interesting programs funded with these dollars. To date, the county has allocated about $5.2 million, leaving $21 million to fund projects. Why couldn't ARPA funds be used to fund really important local projects like this that does not involve transitional living and communal living, as I call it? This would not add to the budget for future years, but be a one-time project, then assess the success, and if it proves to be cost-saving and successful as the project outline indicates, it could be added to the social services budget in the future. I find it disturbing that what likely were dysfunctional families at one time, i.e. there are serious reasons why children are removed from the family, why would you put 3 of these types of families together in one location? Mr. Leonard indicates transitional living has been used successfully for other serious issues, drug addiction, sexual abuse, etc. However, these transitional living environments are very different from putting